Hi. Mike just said Netherlands and Puerto Rico are here, and I said I want to go to both places. Very much so. Hello, I'm glad you're all here. Oh, Michigan women basketball are winning. Wonderful.
Purdue won.
Oh, Purdue won. Mike went to Purdue. So did my good friend Betsy. She went to Purdue too. Welcome. I'm glad you're all here. Hi, Rachel. Hi, Shannon. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, I'm here again. 3 days in a row. Looking a little worse for the wear, but I'm here. Is that the expression?
Yeah, a little worse for the wear.
Worse for wear, whatever. Yay, I'm glad you're all here. So I had been gone for a bit, so I tried to do a bunch of lives in a row, and I know I can't do a live tomorrow, so I was squeezing them in. This week I'm unsure of when I'll be going live again, so I wanted to squeeze 3 in back to back when I knew I could. I will be going live again either on Wednesday or Thursday, and I will have a pre-recorded video this week too. So a little bit of everything. Welcome. Yeah, I love Sunday play day too. Joyce, I agree. I think the reason I like Sunday lives is for me, it doesn't feel as much work. It feels more just like play. I kind of keep Sundays for things that I've wanted to really play with so that it's just like a, I don't know, more of a playtime for me, right? Yay, I'm glad you're all here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So today I wanted to use a few products from Waffleflower. I knew that they were having a big sale. They're having their big spring sale. It's like one of their biggest sales of the year. And I planned on going live using some of the fun things, all older products. I think, in fact, most of the products I'm using are from a year ago, like last May's release. It's almost a year ago. I try to use some older and newer things because I feel like, it's important that we use things from our stash. I will say the products that I'm using today the techniques I'm doing today are things you can do with other products. And I will talk about other things, so don't feel like you have to have these particular products. The specific techniques that I'm showing can be done with other products too. Oh, good. I'm glad you're here. I hope you all have some products out and just ready to play. You can craft along with whatever you want while I do this. Okay, so I'm using Waffleflower. Again, they're having a big spring sale. And when I told Nina at Waffleflower that I was going to do this, she had offered something amazing. I think their regular sale, like their spring sale right now, I think it's 15% off tons of products. It's like 18 pages of products. And there's many products on a page. So I mean, it's a ton of products that are on sale right now. And I think they were 15% off maybe for the spring sale. But she said with my code, you could get 25% off. And everything that I'm using today from Waffleflower is included in that 25% off sale. So and she also extended the sale for us. So the sale goes through the 29th of March, 2026. Yeah. So I know a lot of these products I have used before, so you might have bought them. I know that because they're older, some of you may have them. So, that's awesome. Or just shop your stash, or you can check out the great sale. If you're shopping, I do recommend going through all the pages because a lot of what is on sale are things I've used in the past, including a lot of her postage collage stuff, which I'm a big fan of, and I have a big live coming out about that in a few weeks. But I do have a link in my supply list. You'll see in the YouTube description below, under supplies, it'll say Waffleflower Card Gallery. If you click that, it'll take you to my website, to the card gallery that I have using Waffleflower supplies. So they're all the cards I've ever done with Waffleflower, almost all of them. And you can see maybe you'll look back and say, ooh, I really liked that card at the time. Let me see if it's on sale and see if it's something that is now on sale. So it's definitely worth checking that out. I do know a lot of the postage collage stuff that everybody loves from Waffleflower, a lot of it's on sale. I'm not using any of it today, but a lot of it is included. So what you could do is go to Waffleflower, search on postage collage, and if there's anything you're interested, add it to your cart, and then when you're in your cart, use my code, JMINK, and see if any of it's on sale, but a lot of it is. All right, and I think Nina is here from Waffleflower, so I thank Nina for being here. She is a giant heart, and I'm glad that I get to call her a friend and work with her. All right, I will say if you are looking for shipping international, almost everything I'm using today is over at Simon Says Stamp too. All right, so I will show an example of postage collage, but I'm not doing it today because I've used it a lot in past lives, and I have a video coming out in a few weeks with that. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you're here. And Brienne is here. I don't know if she can stay because she has a real life. I don't. So I don't know if she can stay, but Brienne, my link ninja, is here, so you can always ask questions, and if I miss them, she'll probably see them, or Nina from Waffleflower, or Mike, who is here. Yeah, and I won't go too super long today because we're celebrating Colin's birthday today. He turned 20 this week, and so we're celebrating tonight. Yeah, I'm glad you're here. So I will say that, thank you, Diane. I will say that I have a variety of cards planned. So we're going to do something, I guess you would call feminine-ish. And then we're going to make my son's birthday card. And then we're going to go back to something that's like quilty. We're going to do all kinds of things. I have multiple cards prepped. We'll see how many we get through. But I will say that what I have planned is, unique. I'm trying to look for unique things right now. All right? Yeah, he turned 20 this week. I can't believe it. He's a good kid. He's a good kid. Every time I see him, I say, I made that. I made that. I made that because he's amazing. So, Mike, can you put up the Waffleflower image? So just a reminder, there's a spring sale going on right now. That date is not right. Their regular spring sale ends on the 25th. That's okay, Mike. It ends on the 25th, but they are extending it to 29th for all of you using the code JMINK. It's all in the top of my YouTube description, and that gives you 25% off a big category of products. If you're looking for, like, all of the products are included in that 25% off, it is at the top of my YouTube description under special offers. I also want, you can come back here. I also want to mention that Waffleflower is always generous with free gifts. What's back there? Oh, Waffleflower is always generous with free gifts. And as you add items to your cart, a pop-up will show where it allows you to choose between free gifts. And the more you spend, the more you get free. So there are also free gifts. And if you spend $100, it's free US shipping. I decided not to give them the monster card because I have somebody else in mind for the monster card. So I have another one today. Maybe we'll give them both. Who knows? All right. Ooh, baking. I like it. I like it. Okay. So again, a variety of themes today. So if you're not liking the first theme, you can always stay for the next one. But I will be talking about how you can use different style products for the techniques that I'm doing. All right. Yeah, it is generous. Between the 25% off and the free gifts, you got a lot of great offers. Okay. So I think it was May last year. Waffleflower came out with a great collection of products that had like sewing, quilting, stitching kind of theme. And I think there was cats and dogs in it too. It was like a nice mix of things. So and I've been wanting to use more of it. So for my first card, I'm going to do kind of a stitching theme card because I love to stitch. My second card will be cats or dogs, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so let me show you the stuff that I'm going to start with first. So I have two die sets here. Let me cover up. So the first die set here is called the So Fun die set, and this is 25% off. Now I'm only using the buttons from this, but it has scissors, it has spools of thread, and it has a sewing machine, a safety pin, some fabric, and so on. And really great cards you can create with the So Fun die. Mike, can you share the example that says sewing machine? So this is a card that I got from the Waffleflower website, and I loved it. Who does it say it's by? Gilliana?
Yeah.
Galina? You can. These are from the Waffleflower website. She always says that I can share those. And I think that's a beautiful card. See how the fabric is coming out and they stamped a greeting on the fabric. I think that's beautiful. Yes, the Big Mama brushes are included on the sale. I saw it in there. In fact, all 3 sets, there's like a cool tones, a warm tones, and an off-white set. So you can see that in the YouTube description below. I will use them later. But I really liked that sewing machine card. Mike, can you come back here? Here's another example with the, oh, no, it's me. There we go. With the sewing machine. This one Nina sent me. I'm guessing she made it. See that sewing machine with the detailed scissors and such? If you lose sound, refresh the page. I guess, how do they hear me say that if they've lost sound? That's a YouTube glitch. Mike, can you just tap it in the chat? And here's that sewing machine card. That's vellum there. I like that. Okay, so just to show you some of the other things that you can create with this. Again, I'm just using the buttons today. Mike, can you also show the one that says spools? It's called spools. I loved this card from, I think it's Jill Hawkins. Yeah, Jill Hawkins. I'm sorry, I can barely read on my screen. I thought that was adorable with the different colors of thread. Those little thread spools are from the So Fun die set also. So a nice variety you can get from this, a lot of detail. Now I will say, okay, you can come back here. I will say, I'm gonna show you more from that kind of sewing release as we go. And you'll see me use some of it, but I think the images in here are really cute. So I think that's probably I'll share more later. Then the other set that I'll be using on the first card is called the Notions die set. There's big scissors in here. There are bigger spools of thread with some thread strings hanging off. There's a pin cushion, little pins with different toppers, a measuring tape, lots of elements here. So over on this half is So Fun. On this half is the Notions die set. So I will be using on this first card the larger spools of thread from Notions die set. And then I will be using the small buttons from the So Fun die set. And I might be using the scissors from the Notions die set, okay? But the first card that we're going to make is gonna have a see-through window on it. And we're gonna do some embossing on it. So really you could use a variety of different products on it. These are just what I'm gonna kind of accent my card with, okay? And these are 25% off. Okay, so I have prepped some stuff because that's my jam. I have prepped some stuff. So I am making a card that has a see-through window on it, like a window on the front that you can see through to the inside. And I've done some prep, but I'm gonna tell you what I did so you can follow along. I decided to make an A6 card. Let me write this down because I know people always ask. An A6 card is a little bit bigger than A2. My A6 cards, I do 4.5 by 6.25 inches. That's what I do for A6, okay? So that's what this card is gonna be, and you'll see why I chose to do a little bit bigger. The nice thing about this is if you make the same exact card in an A2 size, which is a bit smaller, and you make it in an A6 size, mailing it is the same cost. It doesn't matter. Even in a 5x7, it's the same cost as long as the weight and the thickness doesn't vary between it, okay? All right. Okay, so I'm just looking. Okay, so I wanted to start with an A6 card base. So I created an A6 card base right here. This is 4.5 by 6.25. In fact, let me repeat what I did here so you can see it in action. Okay, so this is, let me put that to the side. This is an A6 card base. I just have a bunch of them prepped. It is 4.5 by 6.25 inches. Just a little bit bigger here, I'll show you. This is an A2 card base. So you can see it's a little bit taller and a tiny bit wider. It just gives you a little more room, which I like. If you haven't tried A6, I really am a big fan. I get my A6 envelopes from Cards and Pockets, but a 5x7 envelope would work too. I actually think, am I going to the Netherlands next summer with Mom? I don't know.
Question. Let me ask her.
I'll ask her. Okay, so this is A6 note card. It's 4.5 by 6.25. Now, if you've watched my lives before, you know I'm a big fan of the piercing dies from Waffleflower. And they come in a bunch of different sizes. Here, let me take off a whole set of one. She has a lot, Nina has a lot of great nesting die sets that are good staples to have in your collection. She has regular rectangles, she has circles, she has ovals, she has squares, whatever you want. But I'm a big fan, yes, an A6 envelope, let me talk about that in a moment. I'll go back to that in a moment. But I'm a big fan of Nina's nesting die sets because what she does is she will have like so this happens to be A6 piercing dies. So it does a little piercing on the inside edge, which I'm going to use. She has it in A2 and she has it in 5 by 7. But not only does she have the regular like nesting dies, she'll have what she calls an additional nesting die set. And what happens is this is the regular over here. This is the additional. And what you have is the additional is the in-between sizes. So the biggest in the additional set is between the two biggest in the regular. Now, if you don't like piercing, she has stitching, she has lots of options, but I have in my cabinet here the A2 piercing layer dies from Waffleflower in both the regular and additional, the A6 in the regular and additional, and the A7 in the regular and additional because I love that piercing look. But it allows you to do layering between them because if you look, let me show you. If I take the biggest from the regular set and the biggest from the additional set, you'll see the biggest from the additional set is just a little bit smaller than so the biggest from the additional set is the one on the inside. It's just a little bit smaller. Let me get it lined up. There we go, like that. Then the regular set, which is a little bit bigger. So it gives you like, if you get the two sets, the regular and the additional, you have all the layering sizes you need. Okay, and I've talked about those a lot in videos. These are dies that I've used many times. I gotta try to put them back on my magnet in my cabinet door. I love these. If you've watched my videos, you know I use these a lot, and that's why they're, stuck in the cabinet door. But you could definitely make this card in A2. I'm doing A6. All right, so I will be using for my card, for the card that I'll be making today, I'm using the largest die from the A6 additional piercing die set. And these, I believe, are included in the, these are the wrong ones, in the 25% off. Okay, now somebody asked about A6, A7, and A2. Let me talk about shipping those because it's kind of important, but I need to put these back or knowing me, they'll get lost in the shuffle. So I'm just putting all my dies back in because I really use these a lot. Okay, so I will be using one. The one I'm using is from the Waffleflower A6 Piercing Die Edition set. And that's all linked below. Okay, now let me talk a little bit about card sizes. I'm just going to do this quickly. So there is A2. A2 is what most of us do. It's 4.25 by 5.5. Okay, and you can get A2 envelopes in a lot of places. A6 is a little bit bigger. Instead of 4.25, it's a little bit bigger. It's 4.5. And instead of 5.5, it's quite a bit bigger. It's 6.25. Okay. Then A7, maybe I should do a video about this someday. A7 is 5 by 7. Now, as long as the cards weigh the same and are the same thickness, the shipping is the same on all of these. Okay. So say you have just like a flat, normal weight card, flattish, less than 1/4 inch thick. If it's made in A2, A6, or A7, it's the same postage. It's the same regular sticker, okay? Or stamp. It's a forever stamp. The way to remember this is we make a lot of A2 cards, right? And if you make an A2 card without much bulk or weight, it just takes a forever stamp. But if you go to the grocery store and buy a card, most of them are big, aren't they? Most of them are 5x7. And that just takes a regular postage stamp too. So these 3 sizes have the same postage requirements. Okay? Now, if your card is bulkier or has more weight, each of the sizes will require more postage. But if they're all a little bit, a regular card without too much weight or thickness, all 3 are the same postage. Up to 6x9, okay? But these are the 3 that most people do. In fact, you can do a slimline card and it would go in here too, okay? So really the size isn't the big thing, it's the thickness and the weight. Now, there is an exception. Square cards, it doesn't matter what the size is, those require extra postage because they don't go through the machine well. And I will say that Christina Werner has a great, it's 1 ounce is the weight limit. Christina Werner has a great video or thing on her blog that gives you kind of like a breakdown of postage. But I believe 1 ounce and 1/4 inch thick are what determines if any of these need extra postage. But what I do is when I'm unsure, I go to the post office lady and I'm just really nice and they'll help you. Okay, I'll talk more about these in a future video, but that gives you the gist. So this A6, you could definitely do A2 if you prefer. Okay, so I have an A6 card base, which is that. And then I have the largest from the Waffleflower pierced rectangle A6 additional nesting dies. So the biggest one is a little bit smaller than my note card. See, a little bit smaller. All right, so what I'll do first is I'm going to cut with that large die here. It is, I would say it's probably, this is 4 1/4 by 6 inches because it's just a 1/4 inch smaller than this, okay? So basically, I'm cutting a rectangle that is 4 1/4 by 6 inches, all right? You could cut that with your trimmer if you want. I'm using that die. Okay, Polly asked if since the maximum thickness is about a 1/4 inch, do I have like a template that you can do to make sure? Yes, Mike will add a link in the chat. You can also just go to the post office and they've got one, but if you want one at home, which I have one, I'll bring it to my live next time and that'll show it to you. Okay, so I have cut a panel. This one here is 4 1/4 by 6 inches. So this is just a little bit bigger than this, okay? So that is my rectangle here. Now, I want to cut, I'm gonna use a die set. Let me find the die set to show you. Hold, please. Where is it? Oh, crud, here we go. I was all organized. And then, boom. Oh, it's in here, I'm sure. There we go. I am using a die set that's on sale called Quilted Frames from Waffleflower. So this is on sale. There are 2 dies that work great on A2 cards. There's a bigger one and then this smaller one. And look at the detail on it. Can you see that? It's like stitching and piercing detail. I am going to use this smaller one. There are also dies here that work with some stencils I'll show you later. You can do like a quilted pattern. But I'm using the smaller of the dies, frames from the Quilted Frame die set. And what I want to do is on the front of this, I want to have a window here. I want it to be see-through here, okay? So what I did, I want to cut a rectangle here that for the window on the front of this panel. So I found a rectangle die that's a little bit smaller than the outside of this frame. Because if I cut this frame, it would cut all the layers. I don't want to get that complicated. So instead, I found a rectangle die that's a bit smaller than this frame. Now, here's the thing. If you don't have a rectangle die that's, like halfway along the width of the frame, you can just cut it by hand, right? Or there's other tricks, but what I like to do is take this die, this rectangle die. This happens to be a pierced one, but it really doesn't matter. Okay. I'm just seeing if there's questions. If you have questions about free gifts and all that, I believe Nina's still here. Okay, so I put a rectangle die. I'll tell you the width of it when I'll tell you right now. Put a rectangle die up there. It's 2.5 by 3 3/4. It really can be hand cut because nobody's going to really see it. Okay, so I'm going to cut that from the front of this panel. There are other ways to do this, and once you see what I'm making, it'll make sense and you can think of other ways. Yeah, Nina's here. Okay, good. All right, I'm using white cardstock. You could use colored cardstock or stenciled cardstock or something here, but I really want to have a card where everything's white except for the bold images I'm adding, and you'll see as we go. I'm excited about this card. My next card, this is more of an involved card, but I've got it prepared. Then I'll have a simpler card next. Okay, so see this one here? I use the piercing nested rectangle dies. See that piercing? I love that detail. So much more interesting than a plain rectangle. I'll save that for something else. So now this is going to go onto my white A6 note card. So there's going to be a little bit of a trim around the edge. See the little trim? Can you see that? All right. But I need my rectangle window to be cut on the front of my note card in the same spot it is on this panel. So I'm holding this panel right to where it'll be. So there's a little white trim all around. Okay. Hold that there, get it straight. And I'll trace the window onto it. So now I know I need to take this rectangle die and line it up kind of with that pencil line. Put some tape on it and run it through my die cut machine. And I'll run it through my die cut machine with the card open. Okay. I will talk about how you can make a completely see-through card later on.
I heard from Mom, unfortunately we're not going to Netherlands because the cruise is booked.
Oh. We're not going to Netherlands. We're going to Sweden and...
Sweden, Finland, England, Denmark, and Estonia.
Wait, hold on. Sweden, Finland, where?
Denmark,
Estonia, and England. I love England. Okay. So now I have a rectangle on the front of my card in the same spot as I do on the panel. So I do have white on white. I could add inking to the outside edge of our card, but I like white on white. Okay, so can you see there's a little trim? And then there's piercing detail on that large rectangle. Okay? All right. Now let's start to figure something out here. My thought is I want to have spools of thread on the inside or on the front of the card. Then on the inside have a pair of scissors. So just bear with me. I used the rectangle quilted frames die, this one here, which I just showed you with all the detail. And I have that cut and ready to go. Now let me tell you what I did. I used this die from the Waffleflower quilted frames, and I cut it twice from white cardstock and then once from a super, super light gray. I believe I used, let me see, here it is. Yeah, Spellbinder's Fog cardstock. So you have that detail on it and some stacked dimensions. So it's going to go around that window there. So let me show you. See how it's a little bit of contrast from the white around it? Because I used a light gray. I didn't want something bold to distract. I know, no, hold on. Let me be clear. We wanted to go to the Netherlands, but that trip was booked, sold out, so we will in the future. Okay, I've always wanted to go. Okay, so see the faux stitching on that? And I like that it's a little bit contrast from the white. So the top of this stacked rectangle from the quilted frames is Spellbinder's Fog cardstock, okay? So I've got that ready. Now, I wanted to do spools of thread. Again, the spools of thread that I made, move all this out of the way. The spools of thread that I have worked on are from the Notions die set. So I use these little strings here and the spools here. If you want smaller spools, it's in the So Fun die set. So I prepped some ahead of time because I wanted to be ready to go, because that's just who I am. Hang on. Oof. Okay. So open this up. Now I have my little spools here that I've already cut from white cardstock, but then I also cut the thread images from some blue cardstock, light blue, from some light pink, well, kind of lightish, and from some light purple. And I'll tell you what those colors are in just a moment. Most of them are spellbinders. They might all be spellbinders. I also cut tiny little buttons. I'll show you as we go here, because I don't know how many buttons I want. But if you know me, I love those details, and I think these buttons are so freaking cute. Hold on. Let me get them all out here. What I'm doing is I'm putting my die cuts directly onto my grip mat that is in my Misty stamping tool. Now, as you know, I love the grip mats from Waffleflower. She's come out with several versions of it over the years as she finds improvements that she can do. And the version they have right now I really like, and I believe they're on sale. This one right here is the 6.5 by 8.5 version that fits in your Misty. But you could also take it out and use it with your stencils, right? But I just leave it in here. It's permanently in here. And that way I can use it to hold my paper in place. And when I want to ink with it, I just open up my Misty. And this version of the grip mat is in the sale. That's in the YouTube description below. Uh-oh, what's Mike doing? Okay, so I'll show you what these are all from in a moment. But first, let me get some strings out here. Let me see, I don't need to do them all, but I'm gonna do some of them. Okay, so all of the spools and threads were done with the Notions die set. The tiny buttons were done with the So Fun die set, which those buttons are the cutest thing in the world. So I'm just kind of placing these all on here so I can ink them all. Now, listen, grip mats aren't meant to be overly sticky, right? Because you don't want it to be difficult to take something off. So it's just a little bit of grip to start with. So I have some pinks, blues, and purples in there. The little buttons are from the So Fun die set. The bigger elements, the spool and the thread, are from the Notions die set. Okay, so the cardstocks, because I know people ask, I use Spellbinders Orchid for the pink. I used Spellbinders Lavender for the purple, and I used, I believe it is Spellbinders Seaside for the blue. Okay, so I'm going to start doing some inking here. I just wanted to do a little shading on this, make it a little more vibrant. So I have my ink stand, and let's see, what ink should we use? Let's use Distress ink. Nina uses Distress ink a lot, and oh no, you know what? I got to get my other inkstand out. Nina does Distress inks a lot, and it's really inspiring me to break them out more often. But really, you can use any colors you want. I am using the Waffleflower dual tip brushes for this, and I'm just putting like some shading on one side of the spools. Now, I don't know how many. I think I'm only going to do one spool of each color, so I'm not going to really bother doing the second one. That will probably just get glued in on top of the other one. So I'll do a little shading on the side of my buttons, and I'm only going to do one of each shape button in each color. So I did Spellbinders Orchid cardstock with picked raspberry Distress ink on top. Next we'll do the Spellbinders, Seaside cardstock with peacock feathers on top. And I'll use another one of the brushes. So I have the Waffleflower brush here. This is much darker. Let's see how it works. Oh yeah, that would be pretty. Look at that. So I'm just putting a little bit of contrast to these by inking a little bit on the side. Now, here's the thing. You could have started with white cardstock and done the inking to make whatever color you want it to be, but you save a lot of time by using colored cardstock because you don't have to build up all that color. So I did, oh, I like that, Michael. That's a good idea. Any other questions I'm missing? Because I haven't been looking up. Then next we will do, you know what I'm going to do, I want more of an bluish purple color for the, I want a more of a bluish purple color for that one, for the lavender Spellbinders cardstock. So I'm going to switch to Pink Fresh Hydrangea, which is like got a little bit of blue tint to it. It's darker, but see how I can put that on the side. Oh yeah, see how that pops? All right. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just doing some, oh, I forgot about the threads. I'll do some of the threads here. I don't know which ones I want. So I might leave the rest of the threads because I'm not sure what I want to do. Okay. Hi, I'm glad you're here. Oh, Leanne's here. Leanne, are you going to create? Okay, so I did some inking there. Now let's start putting our spools together, okay? So I did a lot of this prep ahead of time just to save us time. So I die cut the spools from the Notions die set. I did the spools from white. Oh, come along now. I left the lid off too long. I'm notorious for not putting the top on my adhesive and then it gets clogged. So if you put the top on, it doesn't have that. So I cut the spool from white cardstock, and this is Spellbinders Orchid. I just put a solid one, and then on top of that, I'll put the inked one where I did some picked raspberry. Look how cute that is. And if you're like extra, you could wrap real thread around it. Okay, so I got that. Let's do our blue one. My card idea is to have 3 spools of thread over the window and then scatter some buttons. And I decided to do blues, purples, or like this kind of poolish blue, purples, and pinks. All right, so let's get this going. Hi, I'm glad you're here. Is anybody else crafting with me?
Somebody said they're working on your SCT.
Oh, somebody's doing my SCT homework. Listen, I know there's a lot. I beg for your forgiveness, but it'll make for some really cool cards. It's not hard, it just takes some time. Okay, so I have my 3 spools of thread. Isn't that cute? Those are so cute. So that's like the gut. These will be the accents, so we'll come back to these. I'm just gonna close my MISTI and set it aside. Thank you. Oh, good. Mike, why don't you do a poll? Can you do a poll saying, are you crafting along or just watching or doing something else? I'm just curious. Okay, so there are my spools. Now I have, was it this panel here? Is that the one? No, there was another. Where's the one I did? Oh, here it is. Okay, this was my prep one. I'm gonna put that aside. Okay, so there is, so I'm gonna take my white frame that's on the front. Now remember, the outside is A6 proportion. This rectangle is proportioned for an A2 card. So let me show you. This is an A2 card, and it perfectly fits in the center. But because I used a taller card, the A6, I can offset the frame a bit higher and stamp a sentiment under here. Okay? So you could put this right in the center. You could offset on here, but it's a little tight. So by using the A6 proportion card, I have room for a sentiment under here. So let's do my sentiment. Oh, I've got all that stuck in here. I'll grab a different one. Crocheting. Okay. Oh, that doesn't have anything in it. Okay, so I'm going to place my frame here. I want to put this over it because I want to make sure that I am not putting it too high or too low. So like that. I'm going to tape that frame on the front. I don't want it there just yet. Okay, so I'm going to just tape that there. And then I want to stamp a sentiment on the bottom. Now the sentiment I'm going with is from the stamp set that's 25% off. It's called Quilted Hug. Now, I'm not a quilter, but I am a stitcher. And also, some of these sentiments work really well with some other products that I don't think you have to be a quilter. I love it as is. So I'm going with You're the Thread That Keeps Me Together. And this is going to, this one's going to my friend Dana, who also stitches like I do. So I thought this would be perfect. So You're the Thread That Keeps Me Together. And I'm going to stamp that right underneath the frame on the bottom, centered up. Now there are coordinating dies available for it, okay? But I'm not going to use that. But I do want to tell you, one of the cool things about Waffleflower. So, you know when you have a bunch of sentiments and a bunch of dies and it's hard to figure out which go together? Look at what she does. So here next to each sentiment is a number. It doesn't stamp, it's just on the packaging. 3, 4, 5, 10. On the back of the die, the number is engraved. Like this one right here, see there's a number engraved on it? There's an 8. That means this die coordinates with the stamp image number 8. This one right here that has an 8 next to it. So there's no guesswork. Isn't that cool? And I'll demonstrate that later. But I'm not using the coordinating die. I'm just doing sorry, my head's in the way. You're the thread that keeps me together. Because Dana is a godsend. Okay, I'm hoping this is straight. Sometimes it's hard when you're live to get things just straight and centered because you're trying not to look over the top too much. Okay, isn't that helpful? Okay, I appreciate when companies do things like that to help make things easier for us. There we go, look at that. So I stamped that with black ink and now that's ready to go. You're the thread that keeps me together. But listen, you don't have to do any of these like related things. You could do just thank you or whatever underneath it. I also like in here, like there's a thank you friend, which I think is nice. But I also like the so glad we're friends. So glad we're friends. But with this particular card, I thought a long sentiment worked great down there. And also the scissors, you could do a cut above, yes you are. So there's a lot of ideas there with that. And I'm going to show you more with that later. For now, got my sentiment down there so I can remove this frame. Okay, so now is the fun part. I want to have a window. My idea is there will be a window on the front of my card, okay? And there'll be spools on that window, okay? And then on the inside, there'll be scissors. So when you open it up, you'll see the scissors. When it's closed, you'll see the scissors through. Now, I wasn't sure at the time when I started thinking about this if I wanted to do a clear window or a vellum window. So let me show you. You could put acetate on here, any recycled acetate. But what I thought I would do is put some texture on that acetate, okay? So what I have here is the Waffleflower Tiny Square Texture. I've used this one before. I love the texture it does. You can do it directly on the front of a note card and it doesn't cut the outside edge, which I love. You can like shift it and repeat it to cover a bigger card. Now, this is great because it lines up with lots of stencils that I'll be using later, but it's also a great texture. You can even stitch on here if you wanted to, okay? But I thought it'd be fun to use this right now on the window. So I could put like just a piece of acetate there. Let me get a piece of acetate. This is Pink Fresh acetate. You can use any heavyweight acetate. This is bigger than I need, but just for demonstration purposes, you could just use acetate on this window. It can be recycled, whatever, and have a clear window. I thought it'd be fun to put texture on it. So I'm going to take the Tiny Square Texture Plate from Waffleflower. This one's on sale. I'll use it a lot more in this video. And I'm going to put that onto the acetate. So the acetate's right here. Put this on the acetate and run it through. Now here, let me tell you guys, I'm going to warn you because you're all going to freak out when I take it out. When you do a lot of die cutting on acetate, it'll want to curl, okay? And this is a big background, right? With lots of dots and cuts and stuff that the die creates. So this piece will want to curl, but for what we're doing, we can flatten it just fine, which you'll see in a moment, okay? So watch, I'm gonna take it off the die and you'll see it curls. See it curls? But that's no big deal. Things you can do to flatten it, put it under something heavy weight. You can also just run it through your die cut machine with plain plates, but really I'm only using the center. It won't have that much curl to it. Let me see if you can see it. Can you see it? I'll put it up against black so you can see it better, but do you see that texture? Isn't that fun? So it's just different. All right, I think that's really cool. Now, another option would be to use vellum and that tiny square texture die. This is vellum instead. So that gives you a muted look. And I considered that, so the spools would be on the front and the scissors would be behind and you'd have that muted look. But I think I'm gonna go with the acetate. But do know that you can use like texture dies like this one and it works great on vellum or acetate. Okay? But I think I'm gonna use this texture, acetate texture here, put the spools on the front, and then behind it, we'll have a pair of scissors. Here's the thing, if I did, so these scissors aren't completely put together, but I just kind of glued them, they're not completely done. So you would have, I'm just holding them back there so you can see. So you would have, you know, the spool, the scissors in the background. I think I like that. Or I could do the vellum, so that the spools are really clearly on the front and you barely see the scissors through the vellum. I kind of like that too. So the scissors will be glued on the inside of the card. What do you all think? Mike, we're going to vote. Acetate or vellum? Okay. I'm going to show you again, folks, if you're watching. So I can put this vellum, textured vellum on the window, and when it's closed, this is what it'll kind of look like with other things on it. And you'll kind of see the scissors through it. When you open up the card, you'll see the scissors. Or I can do the acetate where you really see the scissors through it. Does that make sense? When the card is closed, like that. I don't know. I'm torn.
So what's the...
Acetate or vellum?
In front?
Yes, just say acetate or vellum. So both look really cool with that texture. I'm going to use the texture. What?
Okay.
Okay. Mike put up the poll. So I'm going to let you guys vote. And then we'll go from there. In the meantime, I have an adhesive eraser. This one's from Pink and Maine, and I'm just erasing some of my little boogers that have built up. Adhesive eraser is a great tool. Okay. There we go. So I have my frame ready. I haven't done my scissors yet. I should probably do that. But let's see what you guys vote for first. Where's my card?
Close.
Oh dear.
55% acetate.
55% acetate. Okay, we're gonna do acetate then, because I gotta move on it. So let's see. So this doesn't need to be this big. Okay, it just needs to be a bit smaller than this frame. So what I'll do is just kind of hold this here and cut. All right, so I'm cutting the acetate. Just know vellum would work really well here. I'm cutting the acetate to be a little bit bigger than the opening on my frame. And you'll see why in a moment. I'm gonna put little marks with the Sharpie so I don't have to hold it there. So you can use a trimmer here. You can do whatever you want, but I'm not trying to do this quickly. So let's see if I got it just right. I think it's a little too wide. Cut it a little more. So I'm cutting my vellum to be a little bit smaller than or a little bit bigger than the opening on my frame, okay? All right, so let's do this. I have my card frame, or my card with the window. I'm gonna put some double-sided adhesive around it. Normally I would use strong liquid adhesive here because I know it would hold up over time, but I don't have time to let it dry. So I'm using double-sided tape. This is Altenew 1/4 inch double-sided tape, whatever you have works. You want something that is strong here. And again, I really recommend liquid adhesive. I probably will go back and put liquid adhesive under this when the live is over, because I don't want it to come undone. Oh, let me see. Did I make that all too wide? No. Forget it. All right, so I put that 1/4 inch around the edge. Okay. So you see there's tape around that. Now I'm going to lay my textured acetate onto it. There's kind of a pattern to this. I'm trying to do it somewhat straight, but it's good enough. So you see there's that texture on it. You could do vellum here, okay? You like the vellum, but I know. See, here's the thing. Everybody always likes something different, but I'll hold the vellum behind it so you can see what it'll look like when it's done, okay? So there you can see it's already starting to flatten out. Now, I've got this that I need to put on top. So this time I'll use some liquid adhesive and some double-sided tape because I really want to make sure this holds. Again, in real crafting, this would all be liquid adhesive. I would use, you could use foam tape, but I would use Gina K Connect liquid adhesive. I use the matte version. I have trust issues with glue, and that is one that I do trust. There are a lot of good ones out there, but those are ones I always know will work. Okay, so I got some double-sided tape here. Now my head's going to get in the way. Just sorry. Remember, you could have done a colored note card here to have like a colored mat, but I wanted white on white. I really want the focus to be the color we're going to add in a moment. Okay, so put adhesive around that, and then I'm going to line up the window in the edges. So let me, sorry, my head gets in the way. Let me line that up. Put on the front. There's going to be a little trim around the outside edge. So let me show you. See, there's a little white trim around that, because remember, this rectangle that has a stamping on it is a little bit smaller than an A6 card. And my card itself is A6. If you missed the beginning, I went through the measurements there. Okay, so there we have our window that shows to the inside, but it has that fun texture on it. Isn't that cool? Okay, now I have my frame that we created. This was using the Quilted frame die set, which is from Waffleflower. It's on sale, 25% off right now. I die cut 2 from white and 1 from Spellbinder's gray, and I glued them all together with the gray on top. And that's going to go right over it. And it's pretty forgiving because the window I cut is a bit bigger than the opening on this. So I'm going to put something heavy on this while it dries. But you can see I've got that frame there. That needs a moment to dry. Okay, good. Next, I have my spools of thread. I got to look at a photo I took earlier because I kind of laid them out so I wouldn't have to fuss during the live. Oh man, I got more baby pictures. Dang it, he's so cute. Okay, so I have my 3 spools, and I also have my string coming off of it. I didn't ink all my strings, but I might need to. What?
I want to see the baby.
Oh, no, I'm using my phone right now. You're going to have to wait.
It's on here.
Oh. It's in my shared album. You won't see it.
Oh, okay.
I'll show it to you later, I promise. Okay, so I'm thinking I want to put the purple one right here. Let's put some dimension behind him. Put some purple here. And I'll put a piece of clear tape behind it. Again, I would use liquid adhesive for this, but we're live, so I'm not. Yeah, you could stitch the acetate for sure. That would be really cool. Great. Who said that? That's a great idea. The textured acetate is great. And Waffleflower has a bunch of like, look at that. Isn't that cute? So it's clear. It's floating on there. Waffleflower has a lot of, excuse me, textured dyes. There you go. Who is it? Christine. Great idea, Christine. Waffleflower has a lot of textured dyes. I'll show you some later on that would work really well here. Oh, I didn't pop the center out. I want the center popped out. Okay. So again, you could use clear. You can always use liquid adhesive with acetate. It just takes more time to dry. So when you're doing this, I'd probably do that. liquid adhesive. But it can't be a girly liquid adhesive. It's got to be a good one. I shouldn't say that. That's terrible. It can't be a wimp. See, I don't like that. The girly is wimpy. It has to be a strong, womanly. Thank you. I think I have a little cold that I caught from the plane. I went from seeing the grandbaby and Audrey and her husband to Atlanta to see Libby from Pink in Maine and Elena, and it was wonderful. Okay, so now I want some string coming off of those. I'm going to open this so it's easier to see. So let's see. I did ink the purple. So let's do the purple first. I've got this string right here, and it's going to come off of the purple and kind of go down like that, like hanging off the edge. So on the back of this, okay, so here I'm going to use liquid adhesive, and it's not going to stick right away, and you guys all need to know that. But I can go back and make it stick later. I will say something to keep in mind is you could put double-sided adhesive on the back of these thin die cuts before you die cut, and then it will be like a sticker. Let me see if there's enough ink on my brush to count for this. Yeah, that's good enough. I just don't want to get everything back out. Okay, so now I have, I did it wrong. Wrong one, hang on. I had this all laid out, and so I'm trying to go with what I had laid out so I don't have to think about it. Okay, good enough. So this one, let's put liquid adhesive on the back of this. These are in the same Notions die set from Waffleflower, and it's on sale. This one's going to get kind of tucked behind him and come out around the top like that. Oops. Again, I'm using liquid adhesive on acetate, which takes time to dry. If you get liquid adhesive, like a liquid adhesive mess on your acetate, all you have to do is use a little rubbing alcohol and it'll come right off. Okay, so pink. Let's get some pink ink on this. I used this one. Oops, wrong side. Just trying to use up some of my ink. Okay. Isn't this cute? Now, there are a lot of ways you could zhuzh this up, but this is what I'm going with right now. And then this one kind of come out from here. There we go. And then go down like that. There we go. Isn't that cute? Get that to stay. Isn't that cute? So you got the see-through window. Now I've got those buttons. Remember all those little buttons? And so I'm going to scatter some of those too. Let's see. I'm going to put 2 right here. I'm using liquid adhesive. I know. It's okay. I think it'll be fine. Let's do a purple. I have more. Let's do a purple here. Let's do a blue round one, or like flowery one. And then we'll do a pink heart. I'm putting one down, and then I'm going to glue another on top so it's like layered up. Now here's the thing, you could use real buttons here too, but over here I'll do a purple, let's do a purple square. I didn't use the square yet. Do it like a triangle, or a, no, yeah, triangle. No, diamond. And then we'll do a pink flower down here, or pink circle. Isn't it cute? Now, I will say there are so many things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I do think I want one right here too. It's odd number, but that's okay. Let's do a blue heart. Another blue heart. There we go. Working on a sympathy card. Those are hard to make. Hi, Sika. Sika. I may or may not be making a card for you later in this video. Okay, I think that's good. I like those buttons there. But those were just one layer and they don't have inking on it. So I'm going to add on top of it some inked of the same, because I've got these inked ones here. Now, keep in mind, these will probably shift when I put them down, because I use liquid adhesive on acetate, which takes time to dry. Okay, heart. Oh, you know what would be really nice on these is if I used a little silver thread and stitched them beforehand, but you know, you win some, you lose some. Okay. Hi from Indiana. Mike, are there questions? Of course. See how the inked makes them stand out better? So cute.
Would the frame dies work on an A2 card?
Yes. This frame right here, the quilted frame dies, these are actually proportioned for an A2 card. Let me show you. This is an A2 card panel. This is the frame die. See, it's the size to go on an A2 card. These are sized for A2. But I decided to make an A6. So you see how there's more room down here? That's because the A6 card is taller. They actually work best at the center of an A2 card. But I wanted that extra room down there for my sentiment. Okay? So yes. There we go. And it's see-through. See? Isn't that fun? And there are other little things. There's pins and stuff that you can add from that So Fun set. But I'm going to stop there. Save these buttons. Let's see. I think, oh gosh, I want to do so much more to this because I love it. It looks a little washed out, but it's not in real life. I think it would be nice to have a color on the ends showing through to the inside. Let's see. How about the gray? The gray is the fog. I don't think I'm going to like that. No, that looks too dingy. I need I need a light color in there. I think I'm going to go with Lawn Fawn just came out with, or has some super light colors of cardstock that I used yesterday in a live. Ooh, I kind of like the purple in there. So this is lavender from Lawn Fawn. This is, oh, I like that. This is mist from Lawn Fawn, but you can use whatever you want. Okay, so let me show you. All right, I'm going to use this rectangle frame die and cut it from mist. I could have used whatever I used on the front, but whatever. This is going to be cute. Little stitched threads through those tiny little buttons would be so cute. They'll tie it into like a little knot. Yeah, that'd be pretty, but that's not what I did. Okay, so I'm using the rectangle from that frame die, the inside rectangle. Now this die cut here I can save for another project. I'm just using the inside. And I thought about adding this texture to it, but I don't think I'm going to, so you can better see the texture on that acetate. So this is going to go on the inside. So let me put some liquid adhesive on here. And I'm going to glue it so it shows through that opening. Let me lay it down. There we go. So it's showing through. So when the card is closed, you see that mist. And when it opens, it's there. Now I have another, this is using the quilted frame die. Same one I used on the front. This one is cut from fog cardstock. I'm not going to layer this one up because it's going on the inside and we're going to still add other things. But I thought this would look nice right around it. You could skip that if you wanted to, but I thought it would look nice around it. And your personal message would get right below it. Okay, so there's the inside. So see the outside, the inside. Now, the scissors are coming back. They're coming in right now. I just haven't made them yet. Okay, so there's the outside. I've got a little bit of adhesive right here that I'll rub off once everything's dry. I don't want to move anything. Okay, so now scissors. Remember from the Notion set where the spools come from are the dies to make scissors. And I'm not sure if I want the scissors to be all made out of silver or some made out of white. I think I like all silver. No, I don't know. I think I like, you know what I'm going to want? I'm going to want silver blades in like a dark, that peacock feather on the handles. Okay, so let's make them. Here's my silver blades. I'm going to put, this is going to take a while to dry, but I'll do it anyways. Liquid adhesive to put my scissors together. I'm gonna have them closed, kind of closed-ish, like that. Okay, so there's my scissors. Now remember, I did liquid adhesive on matte cardstock, which won't want to absorb. It'll take a little bit of time, but it'll get there. Then, hold on, I'm a coming. Is this the color I used? No, dang it. Hold, please. Okay. Oh, I found it. Okay, this is it. I need to cut, this is the color I used for the spool. I'm gonna cut the handles. See the handle die from that. I'm gonna have to run it through twice to make it fit, I think. Oop, don't fall. Just give me a minute. I'll show you some more examples because, no, it'll fit. Nina from Waffleflower sent me some of her actual cards to show here. Hi, Betsy. Hi, Mindy. Hi, Vicki. Hi, Lori, Mary. Lots of friends here today. Thank you. Makes me feel like I have a life. My friends aren't here, but they're here. Okay, so I think these will look really nice on there, but I want to ink them like I did my buttons and spools. So I'm going to lay them onto my grip mat. Yeah, the scissors are very realistic looking. Okay, so I'm going to lay them, see, like that and like that. And I'm going to do a little bit of that shading on it. Now, the Big Mama blending brushes are on sale from Waffleflower. I love these brushes. They're great for big, large areas or quick inking. Okay, I got to wrap this card up. I have more to share. Let me just make sure there's nothing else on here. Let's just do this quick. This is peacock feathers. I'm going to do like, there we go. See how nice these brushes quickly add color? So these are the Big Mama, I call them Big Mama. They're called background blending brushes, background blender. But see how the grip mat kind of holds it while you ink it? And I just did some quick inking on it. The background blender brushes, and they're on sale. They're on my crafty gift guide this year. So I feel like this will look nice on there. So let's try it. I shouldn't have glued those together yet. Oh well. I should have layered this layer on first, but that's okay. Live and learn. So there we go. Oh, these scissors are so cute. They go really well with the sewing machine too, like the details on the sewing machine. I don't know that I should. Yeah, I did show the sewing machine cards. Okay, so let me put, oh, this one goes on top. So there we go. There's our scissors. Look how cute. Okay. And I think this will go like back in here. Let me see. Like, let's see. Give me un momento. How do I want it? I think I want them kind of like that. See how it cut? And then when you open it up, you see those. So let me glue those in there. So I didn't layer these up much, like I didn't add extra dimension behind it because I want there to not be too much bulk on the inside. I can add a few of those extra little buttons on the inside though. So like a button up here so that they're hidden when the card is closed. Let me show you. Okay, let's do right here a little pink button because when the card is closed, it's hidden. Let's do a little purple button right here. Like that, and it's hidden. And then we'll do, actually I'm gonna put two here. I'll put another blue button here. Little round one. Like that, and let's see. Yep, there we go. Nailed it. I like that. Okay, so there we go. Done. Okay, let me show you. When it's closed, you have lots of details. I wish you could capture them in the camera. You have the detail on the quilted frames. You have the piercing detail on your A6 piercing rectangle dies. You have all the detail on the die cuts, right? Then you have the, let's see if I can, see that texture we added to the acetate window using the tiny square texture plate, okay? So it looks really cool just like that. You can make a shaker window like that, in fact.
Shows up real good on camera.
Oh, it does?
Nice.
Okay.
High setting, yeah.
Oh, good. When you open it up, you have your scissors. You could add a sentiment in here, but I'm just gonna add my personal sentiment on the bottom. You can also have it kind of wrap around the outside. But I love that there's something on the inside and the outside. And it gives you, it's cool because see how the scissors look set back? So they're not too distracting with the spools on top because it's on the inside. Isn't that neat? So here's the thing. You can do any shape here. You know, any shape you have with any elements you want. And there you have. And if you want the inside to look better, you can add die cuts to the back. One thing you can also do that'll even right away make it look better is take one of the frame dies. So this is the quilted frame die. It's just cut from white. Okay, quilted frame die. I'm gonna have the adhesive facing up towards the camera. I'm laying it on the gray one, then closing my card onto it. Let's see if I can get it. There we go. Well, you could have done it the other way. But now that gives it a nice finished look here, right? So it looks nice on all sides. Isn't that cool? Yeah, I like the scissors on the inside. I think that's really cool. You could have added texture or stenciling to this blue here, but that blue there actually in real life makes it easier to see the texture on the acetate. Now, for those of you who wanted vellum, let me just hold the vellum behind it. So if you wanted a vellum window, this is what it would look like. You can see that the scissors would be even more muted, set back, right? But it would be beautiful. And then when you open it up, you would see the scissors. So really, you could have used vellum with the texture there too. I think either would look great. There's the vellum. And then here's with the acetate. I don't know. I'm torn. I like both. But do know you can use texture plates like this one from Waffleflower to create interest on your windows. Those windows would be great with, like this window would be, that we just did, this textured window, would be great like on a shaker window, really anything. I show doing clear edges on cards. It would be great for that too. So that was the texture window I used there. The texture I used on the window there was a tiny square texture, which I'm going to use a few times. It's one of my favorites. But do know there are a few others that would look really cool on adding a bit of texture to acetate or vellum. Let me show them to you because I had them out because I was thinking about using them. And I know they're on the 25% off. So this is the clamshell texture, and it's a nice piercing. And one of the things I like about the Waffleflower texture plates like this is it doesn't cut that outside edge, so you can do it directly on the front of a note card. Colin just texted asking what the Hulu password is. Can you text him?
Yeah.
This one is another one, the meandering texture. It looks like stitched, you know? That would look really cool on the window too, kind of going with the thread. And then there's the cross hash texture. And this one I think is really cool when you cut it. Well, it just does that piercing pattern. Then just offset it a bit and do it again, and you get more lines, like a tighter pattern. All right, so those are all on sale too. They would all work well on acetate, but this one I thought, because I had only a little bit of the acetate showing, I thought that would work. Would an embossing folder work on acetate? Great question, Janine, or Jan, I can't see. I'm too old to see. Yes, but some embossing folders work better than others. So my suggestion is try it. If you have an embossing folder and you want to see if it works with acetate, try it. It will curl up when you put a lot of pressure on acetate. It kind of stretches and it causes it to curl up. But as you can see, I flattened mine off when I put the card together. I didn't put enough glue in here. So you can either flatten it down by putting it on under like a book or something, or you could always run it through some plain plates in your die cut machine, and that'll flatten it too. All right? Okay. That's card number 1. Now card number 2 is going to be a doggy card. However, for you cat people, you could do it as a cat. And this is going to be Colin's card, as he texts me asking about a Hulu password. His girlfriend.
Unfortunately, it's one of my complicated passwords.
Is it?
So he's got to enter it in with them, right?
Yeah, his girlfriend is really, really sick. Really sick. And so I think he's being a good boy and taking care of her. Okay, I'm going to do a dog card. Okay, so I'm using, this is on sale too, hold on, the dog silhouette die. But don't worry if you're not into dogs, I'll show you the cat. If you're not into either of those, this technique that I'm about to do, it's the same kind of idea, can be done with any shape. If you're seeing a little bit of a pattern here, I'm trying to show you variety of using that technique. And then we're going to do something else after that. I might do a shaped card after that. Where is my kitty cat? Oh, here she is. Here's the kitty cat. This is the cat silhouette die. So there's a cat, a little wind-up mouse, a ball of yarn, and a little bowl of food. The dog comes with a collar, a ball, and a bone. Okay, so Mike, can you show the cat card?
Yeah, I was just responding to him. Unfortunately, it knows that he's somewhere else other than the phone, so it won't activate. All
right, so here's the cat version. I'm going to do the same kind of thing, but kind of ish. If you would rather have a cat, there you go. There is the cat silhouette die that gives you that shape. And you could do that for the technique I'm about to do. But I'm doing a dog because my boy likes dogs. I don't know. I don't know who doesn't like cats or dogs. I don't know, but I'm sure they exist. All right, so you could do any shape here. You could do a heart, a circle, whatever you've got, okay? But I want you to also look at the background. On the inside of that cat, see that texture? That happens to be the tiny texture, what was it called? Tiny, I just used it. Where'd it go? The tiny square texture plate. You see that texture there? And then she, who made this? Galena. She used some patchwork stencils along with it. Remember how I said that background die has stencils that line up with it? There's an example. But right now I just wanted to show you the shape of that cat. Now there's a dog card, Mike.
Yeah.
I saw this dog card long ago when Waffleflower came out with this stuff. And it's also made by Galena. She's one of my favorite card makers. I loved this card. I love it. And you can see the patchwork stencils in the inside. But that card right there, I thought, wouldn't it be neat if the front of the card is clear there? You could do a shaker if you wanted to. And the pattern's actually on the inside of the card. So that's what we're going to do now. Kind of along the lines we just did. But I'm going to do a different pattern on the inside and kind of change it up a bit. But isn't that neat? So I'm doing the dog, but do know, for you cat people, cats exist. In fact, there's this best friend stamp set of all different kinds of dogs. You can see I cut a lot. There's a cat version too, and that's all in the discount. So the cat and the dog are both on the 25% off. So I'm going to do a dog card first. All right, so I have my dog silhouette die, and I'm going to position it on the front of an A2 side folding card. And I'm going to position it so it's a little bit lower because I'm going to put something above his head. So right about there. All right. I think that's what I'll do. Okay. And I'm going to run that through my die cut machine with my card open. Maybe that's not the best way to do it. Yeah. No. Hold on. I have to think. Nope. I'm going to do something else. I'm going to grab one of my pierced A2 panels. One of my A2 piercing dies. So this is the biggest from the A2 pierced panel, pierced rectangle additional die set. And I'm going to cut this from white. All right, let me get a piece of white cardstock out and run this through. And actually, I might as well go ahead and do it. So that's the pierced rectangle die. It's a little bit smaller than 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Then in kind of the bottom-ish area, like that, I'll place my die, my doggy die, and we'll run this through. Hey, Mike, can you grab me some water? I need to learn to get it before I start. He loves me. I promise he loves me. But there, oh, I forgot. Just give me water from the faucet. I'm not a snob. I can handle that. Okay. So there we go. So you see the piercing? Brian just linked to the A2 die, piercing die I used for that rectangle. And you can see if you put it onto an A2 panel, there's a trim, which is nice. But let me show you what I'm going to do. Okay. So there's that. Shrink. Now, I need to put this on the front of a white note card. Again, I'm doing white on white, okay? I'm going to hold this on this center front of my card. My card looks like it's a little bit off in the size, so I can trim it down after, but just going to lay that there. Okay, yeah, my card is a little bit big. Just going to tape this down so it doesn't shift. Okay, so I have my panel on there, the little white trim around the edge. I'm going to take my rover, place him into the window, open up my card and run it through again. And that will cut the doggy in the exact same space or spot on the front of my card so I can put those two together and the window will be open. Are there differences between the old Anna Griffin die cut machine and the new? The buttons are a little bit different. The new one comes with like a little pivoty tray for it to go on so it rotates. Maybe some other things, but honestly, I feel like they work very much the same. I switched to the Elite because I wanted to be able to use what's available now, but I think they're both great machines. If you can get a used original, go for that because it's not the cheapest machine, but it's definitely worth it if you do a lot of die cutting. I love you, Mike. Whatever. Okay. Do you know what they're doing upstairs? I think Ken's making dinner and Lila is crafting. I think the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree with that. Okay. So I've got my dog window. Cyclones. What? And you can see that it lines up on the front, okay? My card is a little bit tall up here. I'll trim it off later. Okay, now acetate or vellum, whatever you want. I think I'm going to do plain acetate this time. I'm not going to do any texture on it because I'm going to have some interest on the inside. So I'm just getting a piece of acetate here. And it's going to get glued on the back of this. So let me make some marks. I just need this piece to be bigger than the dog window. It'll all get glued together. So I just did little tick marks with my Sharpie so I could see. This is just some scrap acetate that I had. And that's going to get glued on the back of my dog window. Now, here's the thing. Again, liquid adhesive is great here, but I don't want it to take time to dry. So I'm just putting it on the back with some tape runner, and then I'm going to put some Scotch tape around it. Isn't this dog cute? I'm not sure that, I think that dates of Create, man, I'm all over the place. The dates of Create are like the end of April, because I'm only there from one night because I'm going on vacation with my son and his girlfriend, because I think the world of her. Okay. But they sleep in different rooms. Okay, there we go. So see, there's acetate on the back of my doggy window. And then I just glue this on top. So we'll have a window. Now you could make this a shaker. I don't think I'm gonna make it a shaker. If you wanted to make it a shaker, let me show you. If you wanted to make it shaker, put foam tape around the window and add it here. I'm sorry, put acetate on here. Maybe I should. I'm gonna make it a shaker. Sorry. Because here's the thing. If you don't want it to be a shaker, don't do this step. Okay? There's the gist. But it's his birthday. And it's going to be a party dog. So I might as well do it. So I'm putting So I put acetate on the back of this one, and now I'm putting it on the front of the note card window. Let me tape this down because I don't want it to come undone. New Zealand. What are you searching on New Zealand for?
Mom said, somebody said good morning from New Zealand.
Oh, yeah. My mom is watching. I have to apologize to my mom because I got in trouble. I didn't really get in trouble. But she texted me and she said, I spent money on Italian food for you, for dinner for you the other day, and you told all of the people on your live you didn't like it. It wasn't, you didn't cook it, Mom. Got a little in trouble. So acetate here and acetate here. So now I can have a clear shaker window. Oh, there's, hold please. I got some adhesive boogery on my acetate. That sounds really bad. I'm gonna take a little rubbing alcohol swab. This is a little rubbing alcohol swab. And I just put it where the goobers are and it'll take it right off. There we go. I'll take it off. Hold on. I got more than I thought. Yeah, it wasn't, I'm sorry, Mom. I would never have said yours was no good. Okay, so there we go. Okay, foam tape. I'm gonna put clear bits in here because I don't want it to be too showy. Ooh, man down. I'm using Altenew double-sided tape. You can use whatever double-sided tape you want. I just have a lot of this because I hoard it. And when you remove the release paper, you can kind of curve it as you go. So I have 1/4 inch thin here. And when you remove the release paper, you're able to kind of go around areas better. So I'm not going to go completely around it, but a bit. Yes, we love you, Gran. Live like her. I know. It was very nice of her to bring it. But that's okay. Tonight, I'll feed her and she'll forgive me because she doesn't like to cook, so she'll forgive me. I'm just putting foam tape all around this, okay? Around the dog and around the background. It is a great double-sided tape, or double-sided foam tape, double-sided. Altenew has great foam tapes. There's different thicknesses and different widths, and it comes in black now too. I'm just making a mess. Yeah, I know. I will move my water in just a moment. It makes you nervous. Does it make you nervous like it does for Brienne when I use a craft knife? She gets so scared when I use a craft knife. I'm not doing a great job kind of going around here, but I wasn't planning on doing this. What are you looking for?
Is this a craft knife?
Yes, that's a craft knife. That makes Brienne panic. Wait, oh, stop. You're going to stab me? Wonderful.
It's making Brienne panic.
Make Brienne panic. She doesn't like when I use craft knives. It freaks her out. This is going to be the most pathetic looking little shaker, but it doesn't matter. I've shown many ways you can do this in previous videos. Yeah, the black is nice. When does your Greg get to craft on a live with you? My mother does not craft. She doesn't craft. Although, what? My friend Cammie, who has started to kind of come over here and work with me, she is not a crafter, but she now has interest. So I thought, actually, Lila, I think it was Lila's idea. But the idea was, like, I do a live where I teach her how to craft for the first time. She's never done card making, and I think she'd probably like it. Okay, so I haven't made the rest of my card, but I'm going to go ahead and put my bits in there. I think I'm just going to do clear sparkles because I don't want it to be overwhelming, like, you know, cover up things. So these are, let's do these. These are, no.
Someone said Simon Hurley has a new clear foam tape.
Oh, Simon Curley has clear foam tape. Simon Hurley, I need to talk to him because I haven't seen it. I'd love to try it. I think I'm going to do these. I have no idea who they are. Okay, these are from Trinity. No, you know what I want? Oof, overthinking. Well, Colin likes sparkles. He likes sparkles, right, Mike?
Sure.
Sure. Yeah, whatever. I'm going to put in Trinity Twinkle Twinkle. Doesn't really go with It'll be fine. No, I'm going with, forgive me. This is what I do. I'm going to go with Gina K. These little like whitish Gina K ones. They're just kind of sequin-y things without holes in the center. And I'm just putting some in there. Oops. Not putting a lot. One of the things I do also like about the Altenew foam tape is it's not sticky on the sides. So if you need to, you can put some anti-static on the outsides, but I don't find a need. Okay, so there we go. Now I'm gonna just eyeball it. I could put dog bones. There's a lot I could put in here. Yes, you could use layers of cardstock instead of foam tape, but I'm gonna go ahead and put this down. Normally I would put liquid adhesive on the foam tape and rub it around so I would have wiggle room time, but I'm winging it and it worked. There we go. So now, see how it's like a little shaker, a see-through shaker window, okay? Okay, all right. Inside, I want something fun on the inside. And then I'll put a sentiment up here and we got more to do with it. Let's move on to the inside. I'm gonna use that texture, tiny square texture again. And I wanted to show you, they have different stencils that work with it. You don't have to use the stencils, but I think they're pretty cool. Let me get them out. And Mike has some examples. Mike, are there, I don't know what I would have called them. Here,
There's a bunch of flower.
Okay. Okay, hold on. Oh, there's a scissor card. Show the scissor from the last one.
Let's see. There.
There's another, oh, by the way, remember how you used the scissors on the last card? Here are the scissors from the Notions die set with the sewing postage stencils and dies. I didn't use the postage, but remember I said there are postage? That's it there. And it's in the 20% off. Let's see. Oh, okay. By the way, rewind back to the last card. Look at this one. Nina sent me this one. Look at the background is that tiny square texture. And then you have your shiny scissors, the stamp set, and all the other Notions. So all these are from the Notions die set. And then you can see that frame, the quilted frame die. So that's more using the products I used on the last card. She's like a gold mirror for the handles, which is cool. Oh, here's another cat one. And she used that same quilted frame die, the same tiny texture, square texture background. I'm going to show you more of that. Oh, here's the sewing postage. Oh, here's the cat card I just showed you. And the dog card. She sent them to me. But even here, this is another one that's 20% off. It's a cat set. There's stencils. And she just used the tiny square texture on the background. It doesn't have to go with a stitching theme, you know? Okay, so I've got these out. Now let me, okay, hold on. So there are a few different options of stencils that work with the tiny square texture plate. Mike, can you pull up one of them? Just,
What was that again?
do any say patch?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, that one right there, if you look closely, the background is done with the tiny square texture plate that I've just used a million times. But she also stenciled on top of it, because it's designed to go together, with the quilted floral stencil, which if I have time, I'm going to do on my next card. Okay? And you can see the same Notions die cuts there. All right, what's the next one? There's the same. That's the quilted floral again. These are all from the Waffleflower website. I love that. There's the spools. I think that's the cutest card. Now this one, once again, tiny square texture plate, but it's the stencils they used on it that line up nicely are from the Quilted Petals stencil set. So there's a few different stencil sets that line up with that tiny square texture. What's the next one? Is that it?
That's it.
Okay. Okay. But I will show you, there is another one. It is called, let me find the set. It's called patch. Where is it? I'm trying to find it. Ugh. It's called the, I don't have it out here. I don't know where I put it. It is called, there's another one that lines up with it, and it is called the Patchwork Stencils. And it lines up with this too, and it creates this. Where see how there's patches of colors. All right, so you cut with this and then stencil on top, and it lines up. Here's another. This is the Patchwork Stencils on that tiny square texture plate. Isn't that cool? And then here, on the inside of here, is the Patchwork Stencils without the tiny square texture plate. So the stencils create a patchwork of color. And so you can create your own pattern paper. Right, so I can't find mine right now. I'm not planning to use it anyways, but there is, so there, I think there are 4 sets of stencils that work with this. All right, the flower, the petal, the patchwork, and then the tiny squares that I'm about to use. Okay, I just think these are cute, so I'm gonna keep those out. Okay, so I have some blue cardstock here, and I think it's, I don't know, it's scrap. It might be Spellbinders. I don't have all my cardstocks swatches done. Yeah, it's Breeze. So this is Spellbinders Breeze, and I'm going to use the Tiny Squares texture plate on it. Now, I'm making my own pattern to show through on my shaker window. And remember, if you don't want to shake, you just put the acetate, 1 layer acetate there and glue it down. It doesn't have to be a shaker window. You could use a plaid stencil background. I don't have any of them out right now, but I'm gonna do a little kind of plaidish thing with this. So Spellbinders Breeze cardstock with the tiny square texture plate. This is what's gonna show through. Oh, that's gonna be so cute. But we need to zhuzh it up. We don't have to, but I'm going to. I have my Waffleflower grip mat here, the big mama one. It's got a bunch of stuff on it. I gotta clean it. Okay, I'm gonna lay that down. And then these are the tiny square stencils. You can see there's different stencils that line up with this. And I probably will not use them as they're intended. I'll probably change it up, but we'll see. Okay, so it's easy to line up. There's a few ways you can use this. So I'm gonna line this up. You could make each row or each diamond a different color, but I'm just gonna do fast. So let's do first my favorite color, and then I'm going to do his favorite color, and then it'll, you know, make it special. Then again, his favorite color changes a lot, but right now, blue. So my favorite color is, I just got it out, didn't I? Where'd I set it? Oh, right here. Okay, this is Peacock Feathers, and I'm using my Big Mama blending brushes. These are 25% off right now with my code. These are the background blending brushes from Waffleflower, and I think they're great. They're wonderful if you're doing like a background blend or doing large areas. It is in my arsenal of favorite brushes, and I have them in my drawer of favorite brushes that I use often. Again, you could do a lot of different colors here, but I'm keeping it simpler. Ooh! And the fun of this is I started with the blue cardstock, so it will show through nicely. All right, now this will do some of the in-between. So this one I'll do in a color that I think Colin would like. So that was Peacock Feathers. I'll get another Big Mama brush. And this one I will do with Blueprint Sketch. No, I think I'll do Salty Ocean. This is probably very dry. Look how old this is. There's even some old foam tape that's old yellowed and crusted over because I used to use cheaper foam tape. All right, can you scroll it? All right, so what's happening is these stencils line up nicely with that tiny square texture pattern, as do the others that I showed you. One is called the petal stencils. The other is called the flower, and then one is called the patchwork. But this is the tiny square. But look at, It's not just a checkerboard kind of thing. See? Ah. This black mat is Waffleflower. Now the last stencil does little squares in between, but I think I'm going to break the rules. Well, let me do it first, and then we'll break the rules. I'm going to zhuzh it up a bit. So let's do that there. Now over this, I think I'll do, let's do like a green. Let's do mowed lawn. Isn't that cute? And remember, like this one, where's the one I really like? Oh, I don't think I have one of it. It was a picture. Mike, can you show the flower patchwork one again? Oh, this needs ranking. My favorite of the, yeah, see, that's my favorite of the stencils, and I'm hoping to do it on another card if I don't run out of time. That's my favorite that lines up with the tiny squares. But this one is very universal. Okay, so I'm doing some mowed lawn. Granted, this is very light because I need to re-ink. Dang it. I think my re-inker's right there. Okay, so let's see. See, look at what we got going on here. But I'm not going to stop because that's not what I do. Let's go. So this is how it was. I'm going to shift it. Let me clean my stencil first. I'm using a little bit of rubbing alcohol. The only thing did you hear that? That was a pair of reading glasses on the floor. That was a pencil. A little bit of rubbing alcohol is a great way to clean stencils quickly, but don't use it on your stamp. So it's supposed to be like this. I'm going to shift it. Yeah. To add more. So why not? Lori and Pam were separated at birth. Both good people. Both good, supportive people. Okay, salvage patina, which is kind of like peacock feathers-ish, but lighter. So let's do this. Do a little bit of light inking here. So this isn't really how the stencils are supposed to be used, but this is a reminder that you can shift stencils to change up the look of layering stencils more. Oops, that will mess it up. Trying to hurry too much. Okay, so salvage patina. So see how there's a little bit of salvage patina in there? It's very subtle because I picked a color very similar to the background. Do I use a different color blend, different brush for each color? I just have I have a brush for each color, but not like a light, medium, and dark. So there's my green, my teal, and my pink brush. If I'm switching from a dark color to a light, I just rub it off onto a dry cloth. Let me just do a little more inking here. I want a little more. I think, oh, this time, let's go, so go from the original position, shift it up. I could do green, or I could do silver, but I think I'm gonna go with like let's do yellow. Now, yellow on top of that light blue paper will give us like a light green. So I'm doing squeezed lemonade. Don't worry, it won't be like some neon yellow. It'll be more of like a bright green. I want something not as intense on this because I'm layering with what's already there. Oh, that's what you call a very dry ink pad. Any inks would work here, by the way. The Lisa Horton metallic inks would be really cool on here, but I'm just doing this pretty quick. Oh yeah, see how that little yellow gives you like a key lime color. Isn't that cool? Okay, I want to do one more thing. Jennifer needs to stop. Hold on. I'm going to do yellow again, but this time on top of the blue. So you see these bright blue squares and the bright peacock. So where I did Salty Ocean and Peacock Feather, I'm lining this up over and I'm going to do some yellow on top of it. So like the center of those bigger diamonds will have that yellow at it and it'll give us a green look. This would be easier if my ink pad wasn't so dry. Yeah, these brushes are great. I think you're supposed to hold them like this. I think they might be nice for folks with wrist issues because you can really get in there and do a lot. And it makes it nice because it makes you do thinking faster. So you can hold them. I think you're supposed to hold them this way. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Oh yeah, okay. See, let me show you. See that pop of yellow inside of those bigger blue? Oh, come on. You could go for days with this. Isn't that neat? Isn't that cute? Okay. So I'll clean those stencils later, or I'll forget, or whatever. So that is the tiny square stencils on the tiny square background plate. Now I only need the dog shape for the inside. So now I got to find my dog. Here he is. I'm going to cut a doggy from that pattern. I'm going to do it from the bottom so I can save up here for another card. I'm going to do it from like right here. Okay. So cut that. So there'll be some, oh, you know what? I could save the negative of this for another card. I'll show you. I moved it so I could do that. I haven't spilled my water yet. Okay. So now look at, I have the negative I could use on a card. So we'll save that. But this piece right here is going to get glued on the inside. So there's a doggy on the inside when the card is open and closed. So I kind of flattened some of that texture. If you wanted to put the texture back into it, you could just line, it'll pop in there like it popped in there and I could run it through again. I'm not going to bother because you can still see the texture. Let me put some liquid adhesive on the back of Mr. Rufus here. It looks like our dog Abaco, who's a Vizsla, and Vizslas are usually slender, but she's a little chunky monkey. Okay, so I put glue on the back of it. I usually don't. When people say that, I'm like, don't shame her, but she is. Glue on the back of it. I'm going to just put it into the opening on my open card, then close the card onto it and press it down. And that way I know that it's glued on the inside to line up with the window. Look at that. Okay, gotta hurry. Remember I said the card base was cut a little bit tall. I'm gonna trim a little bit off the top. Oh, that's so cute. A little party dog. What do you think, Mike?
Party dog.
I could probably have gone darker with that on the inside, but live and learn. Okay, now birthday messages. These are, I've talked about these in lives. I've used them many times. I love these types of sentiments, and there are a few. I have them linked in my YouTube description below. There's also, there's a ocean-y themed sentiment set that I used with the same style. But basically what this is they are sentiments, and the dies do that fun piercing edge when it cuts it. So this is the Happy Birthday stamp set from Waffleflower. It's a nice one with bold sentiments that work with a variety of styles. Then the coordinating dies have piercing detail on the inside edge. And I love these. Instead of just something boring, I've used these many times in videos and the other occasions. But let me show you. Here are the sentiments. See how you get that piercing detail? Isn't that neat? Instead of just plain cutting out. So I've got a few different sentiments from that set. That's called the Happy Birthday set. I think I'm going to do probably, actually I'm not going to wait. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. I still need to do his collar and his bone. I'm going to do the bone from Fog. You could do white glitter cardstock. That would be kind of fun. But I'm going to do Fog. Get a piece of Fog cardstock. Get the bone here. The collar, I think I'll do that from, like, I think what I'll do is I'll take the blue cardstock and I'll ink it up with some of the Salty Ocean, and that way I know it's going to match. And I don't have to go, I want it to match like that brighter blue. I don't want to have to go digging for cardstock or, waste another piece. So I've got this scrap here. I just inked some of the salty ocean on it. And from that area, I'll cut the collar. So we'll cut the collar. This is all in the Silhouette Dog set. So now let's put the bone back. So I have, I thought I had a white bone here too. Where'd it go? Oh, it's right here. So I have a white bone. I'll put a fog bone die cut on top of it. How much is that doggy in the window was your favorite when you were little? Well, here we go. He's pretty much a doggy in the window. See, that's like a little fog. Maybe a little darker might be good. Might go with a little darker gray. So it shows up more. Yeah. This is probably Dove from Concord and Ninth. This is where Jennifer overthinks things. But remember, you can do the exact same card with the reverse. So you would have white on the inside. And you have a 2-for-1 deal. Hold on. Let me add my little collar. So this is the card that inspired me. So they didn't do, there's no acetate there. It's just popped up. That is from Waffleflower. There we go. Little blue collar. Sorry, my head's in the way. And then the little tag. I do the white tag. Put that right there. And then I did a silver. Cut the silver. Yeah, you could ink things. Yeah, you could do whatever you wanted. I could ink it, but this is easy enough. So there's the little collar. I would probably find a tiny little heart to put on there. The teeniest tiny red heart. Yeah, I could ink this gray a little bit darker or just use a marker or something, but here I am. So again, this is all in the dog silhouette die. And remember, if you prefer cats, you could do this in the cat. I think. Yeah, I'm going to do the darker. I could done white glitter paper for a sparkly bone, but I didn't. Okay, so let's put that on there. I just kind of want it like resting by his feet. Kind of like in the picture, in the example they did. Let me put something heavy on that. Hold on. Glue under there. Okay, now he needs a party hat. So let's give him a party hat. Is this the same color? Yep. Okay, so let's do a little more of that inking. I'm just going to create a really quick party hat. But we'll do peacock feathers. You could do stripes on the party hat. I'm not. I'm trying to make this pretty quick. Seeing as how his party here is in a few minutes. No, I have time. Okay. Now I'm going to cut my own little triangle here. Party hat. I'm going to make it bigger than needed, and then I can cut it to whatever size I want. So he's going to have a party hat. Oop. Looks like a dunce hat, right? Like he got in trouble. I'll make him look like a party hat. Give me a second. Look at, I mean, come on. Maybe a little bit more. Do you like it, Mike? Mike likes it. I could do stripes or something on it. Maybe I could do white gel pen dots, but for now, I'm going to put a little party hat on him. And then I'm going to put a little pom-pom on the top. You could do really any color. Let me get a few different colors here. I'll probably go with white because that's what I end up always doing. Or you could put like a star or something. I could do blue. I like the blue. Okay. I'm going to cut a little bit off this one side of the pom-pom so that it'll glue flat. And I like that it kind of sticks off the top like that. I will probably go put stripes on that because that'll bother me without, you know, like without a little zhuzh on it. But, ooh, or little white dots might do it. Okay. That gives you an idea. Then we need our sentiment. There we go. I think it needs to be, let's celebrate. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. Oh, gosh. All right, I did cut extra die cuts to go behind it. Oh, remember, I told you about this earlier. The stamp set has numbers next to it. Like this is Let's Celebrate, and there's a 5 next to it. Yay has 6. If you look at the back of the dies, they have numbers engraved. So on the back of the Yay die, it says 6 because it goes with that. So you don't have to try to figure it out on your own. All right, now one of the other things I could do here is I could have done black cardstock with white heat embossing, but I think I'm gonna just leave it as is. I kind of like it like this. Now, let me show you how it all comes together. Right there. I could add little stars, but I'm going to stop. Okay. So there we go. You can see the pierced detail around the sentiment, the pierced detail around the front of the card, and you have a clear window, clear shaker window, and then the patterns on the inside. And then I would write my personal message up here. If you want to put a collar on him, you could, but I think I'm going to leave it like that. Oh, he needs a nose. I'm going to give him a nose. He's going to have a black nose. Nose. These are gemstones from Trinity Stamps. Joink. Oh, gosh. Oh, come on now. Isn't that cute? And if you want it to be more serious, you could skip the little, but I think it's fun. Oops, that's not dry yet. It needs time to dry before I shake it. You get the idea. It'll dry soon. I have some sticky up here. Erase that. Oh my, okay, come on. Look at me finishing cards, Mike. Who would have thought? This is a white acrylic marker from Altenew. And I'm just doing, yeah, I like the dots on it. Little dots on the party hat just to give it a little bit of interest. There we go. Isn't that fun? So on this card, we made it a shaker window. On this card, we did a textured window, but you could switch. But the idea here is any window you can add some interest to and have something on the inside. And remember, I can make this exact card in reverse with white on the inside. And you can skip all the details and keep it very simple if you wanted to. Also, if you wanted to simplify this card, you could use pattern paper here. You could do a black gem for an eye. I think I'm going to skip it, but you definitely could. Google eye if you wanted to make it really playful. But you can also do more of like, this is kind of playful, you could do more of a classic look, like this cat one, okay? So, there you go. So if you are getting or have the tiny square texture plate, know that there are many stencils that go with it. I'm going to do one more. This one, the idea with this one started out as a clear card, but I think it will veer from that and do shaped. But we'll see as we go. Oh, here we go. I'm going to do the Quilted Floral Stencil, which also goes, this next card. This is the Quilted Floral Stencil and also goes with the texture plate, the tiny square texture. I'm going to cut this from white. And then we're going to stencil on it. I could do like from light pink or light yellow or something, but I'm going with white this time. So here's the texture. I just really like this texture. Okay. Isn't that pretty? There's a boogie. We'll get it off later. Hold on. I don't know if I'm going to stencil or not. Let me think for a minute. I was thinking about stenciling on regular, you could use these stencils not on the texture, but I think it does look better with the texture. So let me go with it. All right, so I've got my white texture And we'll do stencil number 1. It has little details so you can line it up, or little etching so you can line it up. But this is going to give like a quilted look, but I'm going to change it in the end. So just bear with me. Mike, can you show the quilted flower stuff again? Okay, there's one example using the same stencil. And there was one more.
This one?
Yeah, look at that. I love it. Don't you love it? Don't you love it, Mike?
I love it.
Okay, I can't find my... hold on, I'm trying to find my Distress ink stand. Oh, here it is. I'm going to do a variety of colors here. So let's do... I'm going to do each of these little flower openings a different color. Now you could get really creative with your inking. I'm not. I'm just using, these are Waffleflower corner masks. Just easier than using like a, I'm trying to wonder which ones of these will actually show with what I'm going to do. You can use Post-it notes or scrap paper to mask off. So there I did some in the picked raspberry. Let's do some in an orange. Let's do a carved pumpkin. Again, any colors you want. I'm using Distress ink because I've kind of fallen back. Listen, Distress inks I feel are like the must-have ink in your stash. I'm just using them again lately. Okay, so now I'm going to do some in orange. Let's do orange on the middle one. Like that. Maybe down here too. I think I'm going to do orange, pink, and yellow. So there we go. And then I don't think I want squeezed lemonade. I think I want mustard seed for the yellow. And I'll do the rest in yellow. Oh, where did my yellow brush go? Wheel dog. I used it before, but I can't find it under all my junk. You guys, this is what's going on here. We'll use a different one. All right, I'll just use this one. Okay, I'll do yellow on the rest. This is mustard seed. Got a little bit on that guy, but that's okay. You get the idea. So I did 3 colors there, and you can see how those little flowers line up with the texture. Okay, now it's time for the leaves. Oh, this is gonna be so cute. And this lines up with that texture, tiny square texture. So for this, I'm going in with some Twisted Citron. It's the happiest of the greens. All right, so let's do Twisted Citron over everything. I will go in with the mowed lawn and make some of them a little bit different. It smells like taco soup. Oh my gosh, my phone is blowing up. Uh-oh. Hold on. One's from Brienne. I want to make sure I didn't mess up. I think. Okay. But you talked to Colin, right? Okay. All right. So Twisted Citron, and then I'll come in with the darker mowed lawn. And I don't have to worry about it being too dark because my ink pad is dry. Twisted Citron is a fun color. It's a great name too, you know. So I'm going to do some of the leaves a little bit darker with mowed lawn. Oh, come on now. This is so cute. And if you wanted like a more subtle background, don't start with white. Start with like a light color. I know Lawn Fawn just came out with some great light colors. Or maybe they had them, but they just came out with a variety pack. I'm not sure. Okay, look at that. Okay. Then the final one does the little center square. And for that, I shouldn't have put everything away. I'm going to do, I think I'll do tone on tone. Actually, yeah, I think I'll do tone on tone. So picked raspberry heavy on my pink raspberry flowers. So see how I'm going in heavier with the same exact color. Ken just texted Lila or Colin and said, "You can come anytime. Mom will be done with her live by 5:30." It's like he doesn't know me. Okay. Yeah, I might be. Okay. More card. What am I missing, Mike? I know I'm not listening. Gold would have been really nice here too, but again, I'm kind of just doing this pretty simple here. Am I missing anything?
I don't know.
Thank you.
You're
Okay.
asking me?
Well, in the chat.
Oh.
My goodness gracious. Okay. So I just did a little tone on tone. I may go back and add more to that later, but look how cute that is. Oh, okay. Somebody asked Gina K inks or Distress inks. Listen, I think I love both inks. I feel like Distress inks are a different animal. They can be used in the same way, but Distress inks I don't stamp with often. They're great for techniques. So I feel like they're two different things. That's just my personal opinion. Okay, now I'm using, I was going to do a clear card, but I think I might veer from that. We'll see. This is the embroidery hoop die set, and there's an oval version. If I can find it. There's an oval hoop die set too. Oh, come on. I'm at that time, Mike, where it has 3 different oval sizes. Let me find them. Here it is. So there's the circle embroidery hoops. This is all 25% off right now. There's the circle embroidery hoops and there's oval embroidery hoops. I thought it would be fun to make oval from this and make it a shaped card. Okay, now I know this is supposed to be kind of quilted and I'm doing an embroidery hoop with it, but I think it'll be fun anyways. So let's see how we do this. All right, let me glue a couple embroidery hoops together. I'm not sure what color embroidery hoop I want. I was thinking white originally. I'm thinking either fog or craft would be nice. Just for a little contrast. You could do silver or gold, but I don't think I want that. I think I'm gonna go with craft. So this is the oval embroidery hoops. Now, if you like stitching on paper, Waffleflower has dies that cut, you know, the pierced holes, the stitching holes that are good to stitch. And they have some that fit in this. But I just thought this was fun, something different. Okay, so like it's gonna go like that. Hold on. Okay. I'm going to do a craft. This is Concord and Night Wheat. What do people, oh, I'm in there. My old hoop is a light blue. Yeah, you could do a colored, whatever you want. Whatever you want. I also cut it from silver, so I could cut the little thing and put it in there. But you don't have to. Listen, I'm a detail freak, and that's where I'm going with this. Okay, so I think I will do next. Let me get some scissors out. I'm gonna just cut the little, like the little screw thingy. Listen, don't do what I'm doing. I'm weird about this stuff. Can you do a video of Yana's tulip set? Yes, I plan to. Honestly, I didn't do it when it came out because I figured they would sell so quick that nobody would get a chance to get them. So I plan to do a live with Diana. I love her tulip stuff from Spellbinders. I think it's great. I couldn't do a live with it like when it came out for release because I was traveling, but here's the thing, I don't think it doesn't have to, I don't have to go live when it goes on release. Does that make sense? I just go live whenever I feel, hold please. Whenever I feel inspired, I don't know. But yes, I love Jana's they're beautiful. Her new tulip line is beautiful. I love JC's new line. In fact, JC, it's so unique, and I love it. And JC did a video for my channel. I recommend you watching it. Even if the products aren't your style, the way he teaches in the live, I think, or in the video is fantastic. Look at that. That's cute. Okay, so now I'm going to put glue on the back of this. I'm not really sure where I'm going here, so just bear with me. Let's do this. I'm going to put that on there. Okay, so let me just glue it on here. Zoink, zoink, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'm just putting glue around the oval part, and I'm going to put it around, I could do it at an angle. Yeah, the pattern doesn't have to be straight. So I'm going to put it like that. Now let me put something heavy on that. And then I need to think about what I'm doing next. Sentiment. Let me go ahead and do that. I'm going to use, I really like that You're the Thread That Keeps Me Together that I used earlier. But I also really like Thank You for Patching Me Up. Boy, aren't there a lot of people I could send that to. She's done this one. Now I got to find the coordinating dies. Here we go again. But really, you could put any occasion on here, right? I'm not sure where I put all the dies. Remember how I showed you how the dies were numbered? No, I can't find them. Oh, I found the patchwork stencil. Here we go. But I don't have it in here. Where's card number 1? I took the die out. Oh, here it is. Okay, there we go. Okay. I'm going to stamp this while that dries. Isn't that cute, that cat? I think, oh, and they put, look at, they put real baker's twine in there. That's so cute. Nina sent me that one. I think Kathy Zilski went live with that set a while ago. Okay, just give me a moment here. I'm going to do black on white. I could do, there's a few other things I could do, but I think black on white is the best option at this moment. Well, I'm grateful that you're here watching. Somebody said they were grateful. I didn't see the name. It went too fast, but that they were grateful for the lives. For me, the lives are really good because they distract me. Like they can keep me from, I don't know, being anxious. I know I seem anxious because I really am at the heart of who I am, but I feel like they keep me from overthinking other things. Okay, let me cut this out. I do like the pre-recorded, and I've been doing them, and I will continue to do more. But there's something about the live and the interacting and all that. I think that is really fun. It's 106 in California. What the heck? Are you serious? Can't be serious. Where? Actually, I heard it's really nice today here. I just haven't been able to get outside. Which stinks, but.
What color are your nails?
My nails? I don't know. My nails are press-on nails from Impress. Or sorry, from Impress. If you go to Impress Beauty. Actually, I have a link to to the nails that I use in my YouTube description below. And if you search on red, whatever comes up is what it is. Okay. I don't like using nail polish. So, oh, look at that. Isn't that cute? And I did it kind of at an angle. I don't know. I thought that was nice. Okay. Okay. Sentiment. Hold on. I'm going to look for this die later, so I'll just put it right there. Okay. Adhesive. Got to stack my sentiments. So this is going to probably go like this. Now, if I had time, I would go do little stitches with a thin silver thread on the flowers and like down the center of the leaves, which I might go back and do off screen and then put back together. I'm sorry, I think I have a cold coming on. Okay, but I want to add scissors if possible onto this. So let me think here. I think the inside, so I have, these are the ovals that come out of the center of the embroidery hoop oval die. So when I cut it from white, this is what comes out in the center. I cut this little nubby off the side. I'm going to do a little score line at the top. Do a little score line, like about a quarter or a half inch from the top of the oval. Now, I would put normally a very strong adhesive above that score line, but I'm going to take this apart later and add stitching to it. So I'm just using some tape run up there. Now this will get glued to the back center, like that. And now that's how the card will open and close. See, I'm not using the right glue, but this is how it'll open and close. See, maybe I'll put some tape there to help it stay. And now here's the thing. If you don't want it to roll, see how it rolls? If you don't want it to roll, just do a little cut at the bottom of the back oval, and then it'll stand up nicely. Okay? But I have another idea if you don't want to do that little cut there. Or if you want embroidery hoop on the inside, I'm going to make a pair of scissors. This is from that Notions die that I used earlier, so ignore that. I just have the front right now. Let's make some scissors. I'll do this from silver. Oh, come on. Where's my silver? Here we go. Oops. Let me cut my pieces. I'll first cut my scissors from white because I need to stack. Let me cut these really well on the edge here. Hold on. I'm going to come back and add stitching to this with fine silver thread or gold. And then remember those cute little buttons from earlier? I'm going to put some in the background too. Because why not? Because I can. So here are some scissor pieces from white, but I think I want silver handle or silver blades and pink handles. So there's silver. Let's run that through. Actually, I can wait. Let's get some white here. Let's get some picked raspberry. So I'm going to color my white cardstock to match those pink flowers in the background. So I'm just doing white cardstock, putting down some of that picked raspberry with my Big Mama blending brush. And then I will cut the scissor handles from that. So we'll have scissor handles and scissors. Okay, just bear with me. You'll see in a moment what I'm doing here. Yeah, if you just cut a little bit off a shaped die cut, you can make your card stand up. But I'm going to show you another trick that I want to do with this particular card. So I cut the shears out of silver and out of white, and I'm gluing those together so we have some stacked dimensions. So I will have, oops. So here's a silver with the white behind it, so it's stacked. Pop that little bit out. Then I will do the other shear with a white with a silver on top. You do not need to stack like this, but for what I'm going to do, a little extra support is good. Yeah, I'm one of those people who get sick a lot. I haven't gotten sick that often this year. Nothing big besides the tonsillitis. Okay, it might be allergies. I don't know. Okay, so here are the details that go on it. So let's add those. Again, this detail piece here that I'm adding is white cardstock that I inked with picked raspberry, so it matches the background. Oh gosh, isn't that cute? You're gonna have little pink handled scissors. See? Goodness gracious. All right. So let me put some tape on, or some glue on the back of this and add it to the other shears. I don't know, is Nina still here? Nina, there's a question. Can you go back to the question? Nina,
I think it's discounted shipping, but
I'm not sure about the shipping. Nina, if you can talk about how shipping works with the discounts, that'd be helpful. Okay, so I'm gonna grab a piece of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 cardstock. This is not part of my card. Okay, this piece of cardstock is not part of my card, it's just a guide. And I'm gonna lay this right at the bottom here. So it's not glued there, it's just laying there. I'm gonna put a magnet on it so it doesn't move while I do this, okay? So now I'm gonna make my scissors, shrink, so that they hang off the bottom down here. So they'll be like that. So let's glue these together. I want them to be kind of open, like that. So aren't they cute? Oh my gosh, that's cute. Move that down a bit. There we go, like that. Now I'm gonna glue these down so that, I'm gonna glue them down so that one of the shear pieces, see, this doesn't want to stick because it's wet. But so that one of the shears touches this bottom line. That way you'd have this foot and this foot that will hold it up. So I'm going to hold it like that. There we go. So let me put some liquid adhesive on the back of this. I'm just going to put it on some of it. I can always add more later. So see how there's a foot here with the shears and a foot with the bottom of the oval. That'll help it, should help it stand up well. So got that there. I need my sentiment, which I'll put right there. So get some foam. I'm just going to use a foam strip to save me some time. The safe way is to click on checkout instead of the express checkout button. That's what Nina said. So this goes like right, I'm going to do it like that. Okay. Now, I think I want to use a whole oval. Now notice, let me put these things away. Now notice the white cuts out here in the center. I think I'm just going to use the oval. So I'm going to do a little cut right here, like we did before. Okay, so this is how the card will stand up, like that. Okay, so let me do a little fold at the top with the score line. Let's see if this works. Again, I am not gluing this permanent because I plan to go back and stitch this later. So it's probably not going to want to stick and stand up. But I want to go add stitching to this later. So I'm going to try my best here. So now, there you go. Because I added that little bit of scissors here, it will stand up. It won't roll. You could put a spool of thread on it for sure. You can add lots of those things. But what I think I'm going to do is add, I'll tell you, I'm going to do it off screen because I've got to go celebrate. But what I'm thinking I'll do is add a few little buttons. Maybe the purple buttons would be nice. I'll probably add some purple buttons in the background, in the spaces, and then I'll also take some silver thread and put a little bit of stitching on the leaves and like around the center of the flowers. You could also add little gemstones. You could add some of these other little accents like the pin, the safety pin, or the little pins from the pin cushion and put those in there. You could put a spool like we made on that first card. Maybe put a little spool in there too. That might be cute, like a spool with a string. So you could do like a, that might be cute. Like a, oh, you know what? If I'm gonna stitch with silver, maybe I'll stitch with gold, and then I would do this gold and put it on a spool, and then have the little gold thread kind of coming off of it too. Or you can just leave it with the scissors alone, okay? Yeah, the buttons would look cute on there. Lots you can do to it. But I just wanted to show you the basics of it. Isn't that fun? And there's lots of examples on the website. So I think I'll add the stitching. I might add a spool on there. Oh, that's cute standing up. So it stands up nicely like that. And there you go, and it hinges. But I didn't have to cut the bottom there because I added this foot. So yeah, I think I'll probably add just purple. I don't have any purple round buttons scattered, and then add some gold stitching. Or I could fake it and use a gold pen. Either way. But there's a lot of different things you can do there. I'm going to stop with that just so you can see it. See all the detail on it? Yeah, this will fit into an A2 envelope. You know how I know? This was an A2 card panel, and I used it as a guide. So see, it'll fit in an A2 envelope. It'll just be at a little bit of an angle because I made the scissors hang off more. But if you assemble your card on an A2 guide, then you know it'll fit in the envelope. So it could fit in the envelope at an angle. Or you can put it in a bit of a bigger envelope. Okay? Now, let me see here. Let me get these cards out. Here's my cards. We're going to do a giveaway, a few giveaways, I think. Did I give you giveaways, Mike? Yeah. We're going to do some giveaways. So if you haven't left a comment in the chat, do so now. Mike will pick a winner here in a few moments. I will just tell you what I'm thinking about for these cards because I always go back and do a little something to it. I think this one, I might switch out the sentiment to be black cardstock with white heat embossed sentiment. So that it, I don't know, I think it'll go nicely with the black nose. But remember, this is a shaker window that's see-through, and you can see the fun pattern on the inside. And we had the negative space left over. This one, I talked about some of the things I would add to it, but really, I don't think you have to. I think you could really leave it as is or put some little gems in there. But I think the buttons will be really fun. If you have real buttons, like I have some real buttons right here, you could also add those. Because I don't know if you're like me, but you have lots of real buttons from crafting you've done over the years. You could, I mean, look how cute little pink real buttons would be kind of scattered around on it. You know? You could do that too. So lots of things you could do there. This one, I think I'm going to leave this guy as is. It's got that texture in the window. This looks a little washed out on the screen, but in real life, it's just beautiful. Because of the details, not because of anything I did. It's the details from all of those piercing and textured dies from Waffleflower. Okay? If I made this card again, I'd probably put string in the buttons because I'm just weird like that. All right, so those are the 3 cards from today. Mike,
Yes.
what giveaways do I have?
Right there.
Oh, so how many winners do we have?
It's up to you.
Okay, we need, let's do 3 winners. We have 3 winners of good stuff because Nina's very generous and she sent me extras of things. So let me show you the giveaways. The first giveaway is for the Happy Birthday that I showed you, that I used on this one, that has the stamp set and the coordinating dies that do that piercing. And remember, everything I used today from Waffleflower is 25% off. Okay, so there's that. That's giveaway number 1. Giveaway number 2 is the tiny square texture that I used on every card. And then also the quilted frame dies that I used on my first card. Then the third giveaway is 3 texture plates, the clamshell, the crosshatch, and the meandering. Those could all work for the techniques I did today. These would look really cool cut on acetate or even on vellum or even on the front of a note card. Okay, so those are my 3 giveaways. Do you have some winners, Mike?
Yes, I do.
All right, give me the winners.
First one is Elaine Walmer.
Elaine Walmer, you get the birthday goodies.
Okay.
Elaine, and you just go to my website and just follow the contact us or contact me and give us your address. The second winner is of the tiny square texture and the quilted frames. Who's that?
Marianne Donald.
Marianne Donald, you're our second winner. And then the third winner of the 3 texture plates is
Jenny Watson.
Jenny Watson. So we have our 3 winners. Mike will pin those to the top of the chat. And there you go. There you go. So a little mix of different things. I was planning on doing like these see-through window cards, but then I veered off to this little shaped card, which I haven't really finished, but you could leave it as is. What would be neat is if you put glossy accents on the handles, the pink handle, so it's a little bit shiny. Yeah, a lot of this stuff is, the sewing machine's so cute. I just didn't get a chance to use it. Here, let me show you the sewing machine again. Let me see the sewing machine. This is the sewing machine card I love. Isn't that cute? And here's these are all from Nina at Waffleflower. She sent for me to share. All of these products are 25% off. Oops, a dog bone got into my cat card, into Nina's cat card. By the way, this one right here, this background, she used the tiny texture stencils, but on top of the clamshell texture. So you can see you get a different look with the stencils. So lots of ways you can use all these different products together. And that's it. That's it. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. Anything else, Mike?
Nope.
Okay, so just a reminder, everything I use and talk about is linked in my YouTube description below. I really just try to work hard to organize it all before I go live so you can easily find it. And then Brianne's really awesome at sharing a lot of the links as we go because it's hard for me to keep up. So I thank Brianne for that. I have done a lot of lives lately where I haven't gotten a chance to put up the images, the completed cards, but I've taken photos of them. And I'm hoping tomorrow, because I'm not going live tomorrow, that I can catch up on some of those. I will also say I do plan on going live again, either Wednesday or Thursday, but I'm not sure yet which one. If you follow my Share Handmade Kindness Facebook group, I always mention there. And you can sign up for my live texts. You'll get a text a half hour before I go live, and you can sign up over on my website. Yeah. I will have a pre-recorded video this week. I'm trying to think of what else. I think that's it. I think that's it. So big thank you to Waffleflower for this generous offer and for the great giveaways. Thank you all for being here. Oh, by the way, Brianne just put a link in the chat to the Share Handmade Kindness Facebook group. It is a safe place where my trusty moderators really keep the mess away. like I said to them when I hired them, I want you to keep the turds from our pool. I want this to be, isn't that terrible? I want it to be a happy place where company owners can come and look at what people are making and not hear something negative, where people can share and no negative is allowed. So
On topic. Yeah.
it stays on topic. Yeah, so I highly recommend checking it out. I think that's it. Thank you all for being here, and I will see you either Wednesday or Thursday. Take care.